Okay, it's in the chat. Just download the business admin guide. It covers a wide variety of areas. What is business administration is all about. Okay, so that's the basics for Windchill. So even in our upcoming classes, few classes, we are going to talk about business administration. Then we will go for customization. So before we jump into customization, write any code, get yourself familiar with this business administration. Okay. So part of the business administration is Lifecycle. Let me go ahead and share my screen. Can you all see my screen?
Yes.
Okay, perfect. So I'm in my VM. I just started Windchill server. Do you guys know how to start a Windchill server? That's the basic thing. Okay. So first you need to open Windchill shell. So if it is Windows, go to your start menu, type Windchill shell. You'll have a command prompt looking up. This is a Windchill wrapper on top of command prompt. So it looks like command prompt, okay, but it will accept Windchill command. So when you start, when you type Windchill start, it's going to start a server manager, which is going to manage your method server. Okay, so this is where all your runtime code will be executed. So any error you see in user interface will be logged here. And if you want to see the log files, okay, open your Windchill home directory. So usually, if it is Windows, it's going to be C drive, PTC, Windchill, whatever version it is, and Windchill. I'll show you. My system is running very hard today, so once I move to, it's running at 100 degrees, so it's a little slow. Okay, I pinned the home directory here. If you see C directory, PTC, Windchill underscore 12.1 and Windchill. Okay, this is your, whenever someone says what is a Windchill home directory, this is your Windchill home directory. Okay, and from Windchill home, you go to logs. Okay. The recent one is your current method server log, okay, not the GC one. So open it, it will have whatever you see in the method server, you'll also see that here. Up. Still it's coming up. So you have any issues starting the image? I know if you have some issues, wasn't you're trying, right? Trying to extract it. So you got any luck with that?
No, Manoj, it is not working.
Did you down? So what is the issue you are facing?
Uh, let me let me show you after the meeting, okay?
Okay, perfect. Gayatri, still you have the same issue?
Uh, I mean, a few, it's getting downloaded, but beside the few files, I'm getting into mark. I don't know why I'm getting that. I'll take a screenshot. I'm currently outside right now. After going to my room, I'll take a screenshot and send that in.
Okay, sure. So Wasim or Gayatri, can you share the downloadable link to Mahesh? Put it in the chat. So you also want to download the image. Um, just give it a try. You guys don't take much time. If it doesn't work, I will again zip the current image that we are running here and share it with you. Okay, so you have the current running image. So it's not up yet. So once it is ready, it will say method server ready. So we need to wait until it says method server ready. Usually it won't take much time since my system is running very hard. It is having a lot of performance issue. till the VM comes online, I don't want to waste any time, so I'll use my company's VM. Okay, this is Winchell homepage. So as you all know, so it's your host name / Winchell. It will take you to the home page. Okay, so usually will be provided either org admin or site admin. If you're org admin, you'll see this organization icon. If you're a site admin, you will see this site icon. Okay, let's go to the site and go to utilities. Here you have two administration utilities. One is system administration. We'll talk about this later. The one we are interested in is the business administration. Okay, here we are going to see all these topics, not all, most of the topics. Okay, today we are going to see about lifecycle template administration. So we talked about the 5 business objects, the primary business objects: WT part, WT document, EPM document, change objects, and links. Except links, all 4 objects are lifecycle managed. Okay, um, so we can track the maturity of a product. Let's take a part here. I couldn't find a part. Let's go and search for a part. Also get yourself familiar with the navigation. So someone says, go to this product and go to this folder. You should know how to do it. Okay, so everything starts from here. If the product, so this is a recent product that you accessed. If the product is not listed in the recent product, you have to click view all. It's going to give you the list of all the products that you have access to. If you're an administrator, you should have access to all the products. Okay, pick the one you wanted. Okay, usually sometimes it will take to the information page when you click that. Okay, if you go here, it will go to the details page. So if you navigate to the folder now, if you click that, it will show up here, the recent products. Then click folders. It's going to give you the list of folders available here. So I need to go here. The parts folder will have the list of parts. Sometimes if it is the view is set to document, you won't see any part, but only the documents. Okay, you can filter the object inside this folder based on the type using this views. Okay, we call it as a configurable table. Let's go and take a part. You can also customize it. We will see it later, how to customize different views. Okay. So at a given time, the table can only show 2000 objects. So if there are more than 2000 objects in this table, it will say the query limit reached. So you have to click next to see load the next 2000. Okay, so the part is in verification state. If you scroll a little down, you'll see the different state available for this part. So by looking at the state, we can see the maturity of the part. Okay, whether it's verification, it is released, or superseded, it's obsolete. So these state are custom state. Okay, it's going to change depends on the business requirement. But the life cycle is the one where you define the states and apply this life cycle to any business objects which are lifecycle managed. For example, when I say lifecycle managed, what it means, only objects which are lifecycle managed, we can apply the lifecycle. Because if you take a folder, so in Winchell, everything is a Java object. Okay? If you're familiar with Java, you know what is object. Okay, folder is an object. Link is also a Java object. You cannot apply a lifecycle to a folder because it doesn't make any sense. Why you want lifecycle for a folder? Also for links, why you want lifecycle for a link? So whenever we design this Java object in the source code, there will be a super class called lifecycle managed. If any object extend that lifecycle managed, we can apply lifecycle for that. Okay, so and mostly we'll be using this recently accessed. It's going to give you a list of objects you recently visited. Okay, so I need to go back here. When I create this part, it's going to apply this lifecycle. So here it says the lifecycle name, TBCT part lifecycle template. Okay. So today what we are going to see is we are going to create a basic and advanced lifecycle. We are going to see the difference between basic and advanced lifecycle. We're going to create a custom lifecycle and define some custom states. and apply to a part. Okay, that's our today's agenda. Let's see if it's still coming up. Okay, by that time we'll see the difference between a basic and advanced lifecycle. Okay, go to your lifecycle template administration. Sometimes you also need to make configuration based on the business requirement. So any tables or any utilities you navigate, you always have this help icon. Okay, it's a very useful um, tool. So if you click that, it will directly take you to the help page of that utility. It will give details about everything that you see in the UI. Okay. So out of the box, when I say out of the box, when we install fresh Windchill, whatever you have, we call it as out of the box. Okay. Out of the box, there will be some few life cycles because every objects need to be assigned to one life cycle. So out of the box, we'll have a few life cycles. And on top of that, we'll have our custom ones. So here we see anything which starts with TBCT is our custom one. Okay, so it's at site level. We have defined our life cycle at org level. So it's very slow. So all these are our custom life cycle. Okay, let's create a new one. Okay. Here you see basic and advanced. Okay, let me click here and see what they've said about the basic and advanced life cycle. Okay. So basic life cycle, you can create phase gate and transitions. Advanced life cycle, we can define access control policies and map to workflows. I'll show you what it is. Okay. So when you say basic, I don't have any option to map a workflow to the life cycle. Okay. You all know what's a workflow. So workflow is used to automate any business process. Okay. So that's where the magic happens. We'll see how to create a workflow and assign it. So let's create a basic lifecycle. So I want to create a basic lifecycle. Okay, this is my first state. See, all this access control roles are now disabled because my lifecycle is basic. I can only define my transitions. I'll explain what is a transition. Okay, so this is my first state. If I want to add more state, I want to click phase. Okay, now I have three options. Let's have a simple workflow. So in work, released, obsolete. So here I have a list of state available. Um, some business requirement will ask you to create a new state that we will see later. So we'll have two sessions for lifecycle. So we'll see how to add custom state so we can make it available here. Okay. Or if you have time, you can see it today. Okay. So whenever I create a part, first it will be in work state. Okay. Later, it will be moved to release state. And finally, if you retire the part, it will move to obsolete. So here, it will define the state properties. Okay. So versioning series. I told you about revision and iteration. Out of the box, we have military standard, which is ABC or numeric 1, 2, 3. If I select military standard, then my revision will be A.1, B.1, and C.1. If I select numeric, it will be 1.1, 2.1, and 3.1. You can also customize this one, but that we will see in our customization class. Okay. For now, I'll select military standard. Same thing here. Same thing here. Okay. So in life cycle, these transitions are very important. Okay. So what is a transition? Let's say, let's take a part. Want to revise a part. So revision makes a part move from B to C. It will move to the next revision. Okay. But I want to disable this action for some state. For example, if uh, the part is in obsolete state, there is no reason to revise it, right? Because we already retired the part. So I don't want to give revise action when the part is in obsolete. Okay. But when it is in release state, I should allow the user to revise the part. So now for in work and obsolete, I'm not going to give the revise transition, but when it is in released, they can revise the part to in work. Okay. And also set state. Set state will directly change the state of the part. So how the part is matured, there are two ways. Either we can automate through workflow, or we can directly use a set state option to move to different state. And we can see different states. So from obsolete, I can do a set state to in work. Just we will see about these two transitions for now. Okay. Now we need to give a name for our workflow. Let's see if okay, that's fine. Test lifecycle. Here we also have an option to specify what type of object this lifecycle should be applied. Usually we won't customize, we won't configure till the object details level. We will say WT object, so we can apply this lifecycle to any object we want. Okay. Save and close. When I say save and close, if I go to my I have this workflow, but the workflow is checked out. So I need to check it in. So my changes are inside the system until I check in. So it won't be available for use. Okay, checked in. Now, how do we assign this lifecycle to any object? Okay, that's where the OAR comes into play. It's object initialization rules. We define OAR for all the objects that we create in Venture, and that OAR defines some rules whenever. So the name implies object initialization rules. Whenever we create or initialize an object, what all the settings or rules we need to apply for that object. For example, what is the numbering sequence for that object? What is the team assigned to that object? What is the life cycle assigned to this object? Okay. Now we need to download the already existing out of the box OAR. Then we will make the change. Okay. OAR is also business administration entity. We will have a separate topic to see about all the things that we can do with OAR. Okay. So if you want to define a new OAR, you need to click this one. If you want to download a OAR, so we are going to download OAR. So if you see recently accessed, this is the one which has the TBCT path lifecycle assigned. Let's download this. This is a TBCT part. It's the subtype of WT part. So if you see the URL, it's still a WT part, but it's a subtype. I need to select the type of object for which I need to download the OAR. Just an XML file. So any data we load into Visual is going to be the XML file. Okay. So this one specifies the numbering sequence. So we have a custom sequence called TBCT part, and it also defines a value for an IBA THF category. So we'll see all this in our OAR class, but the one we are interested in is the life cycle. Here it is. This is a tag. It specifies, excuse me, what life cycle that we want to assign uh, for this object. Okay, it's a TBCT part life cycle. Now let's go and get the name. So, okay, apply the test life cycle. And all these things, it's not required. see that. I'm going to assign this for a specific product. See if I have an option to create a part. Yes. Okay. Let's go to utilities. As I told you, we can define OARs, ACLs, workflows at site level, at org level, also at container level. So when I apply a OAR at container level, this will be effective only for the objects that created in this container. Already have OAR for TBCT part. Let's see if we can. Okay, we'll update this so I can. If a OAR already exists for the type for that context, we cannot create a new one. So we have to update it. Since there is one already exists, I updated this. Now let's try to create a WTE part, TBCT part, and see if our change works. These are my custom IBAs. So only the one with asterisks is mandatory, so others you don't need to fill. As you can see now, it has only 3 states and stuff, like the 7, 8 we see in the previous TBCT part, and it's following our test life cycle. If you see, let's view this workflow. In work, I didn't enable revise transition. So if you go here and see this part, there is no revise option here. Okay, since I'm an admin, I see the set state. So if I set state to release, see what happens. Now I'm changing the state of the object. Now the object is maturing. So that's what we are tracking the maturity of an object. So now it's an in work. Now I've done all my changes to this stability part, moving it to released. Now I see the revise option because for released, I enable the revise. So from here, I can revise from A.1 to new revision B.1. Okay. Now again, I'm doing a set state to obsolete. So the part is retired, so it's moving to obsolete. Now there is no revise option. So the only way to bring it back to in work is using set state. Okay. Let's make a few.
Manoj, I have a question.
Yes.
You see the revise checkbox at the in work, right? So, like, it is giving me a sense that we can revise when it is in work.
No.
Uh,
So what it means,
I see that you can revise it when it's in release state, but from the table, from the
I'll
checkbox,
I'll tell you. So just hold
okay.
on. Okay. Now I'm moving it back to released, so it will enable the revise option. Let's focus on the state. Now it's in released. Okay. Now I'm going to revise it. So it's C.1. See, the new state is in work. So this one says when I revise, what state it should go to.
Oh,
Because when
okay,
we are making
got
a
it.
new revision, it's not going to stay in release state. So it's a new revision, so it has to start from in work. So we can
Yeah,
have the option to configure that.
yeah. Now I got it. Yeah, thanks.
Sure. Now it moved to in work. It's not in release state now. Usually when people want to change the state, since the state is the admin action, they use promotion request. Okay, so promotion request is the way to promote a part from one state to another state. Since we didn't enable the promotion request option, let's enable it here and see how the promotion request works. Okay, now again go back to our lifecycle, edit it. Okay, I'm going to enable promote in work to released. So what does, if you see the revise option, so from released, from released, if I revise, it will go to in work. So it's a single select. Okay, I cannot have a multiple selection because when I do a revision, it should end up in one state. So that's why there is no multi-select option here. But if you say promote from in work, I can promote to released and also obsolete. So it will give two options when you create a promotion ticket, what state you need to promote to. So some checkboxes are single select and some checkboxes are multi-select here. Okay, so let's save and close. So ideally, promotion request is the way to promote your object. It's not set state. Set state is only for admins, but many companies use set state because it's simple. Okay. So my changes are still not checked in. Check in. It's good practice to add comment. And if you want to see the previous iteration of this lifecycle, what it is before this change, right click and go to iteration history. Click this eyeball. It's going to give you the previous version we had. Click in progress. So we don't have any transition for promote in work. Okay, so now we have updated our life cycle. Will it make any change here? Now the object is an invoke, the newly created object. Okay, will we see a promote action here? No, because the life cycle that this object follows is still the first iteration. Now it's in iteration 2. This object still follows the first iteration. So how do we make this object to follow the new iteration? That's where we have this action called reassign lifecycle. Okay, you want to make this object follow the new iteration. Okay, use latest iteration of the current lifecycle template. So we have different options here. And any screen you see, you always have the help icon to click and know about the details available here. Okay, so now I want to use the latest iteration of my current lifecycle. I also have an option to select the template from the OAR. Okay, let's say I updated my OAR to make this part follow a different lifecycle. So I can use the second checkbox to make my reassign lifecycle to get the lifecycle template from the OAR, or I can manually select the list of uh, life cycles here. So I can pick whatever life cycle I want, but I want to use this. Still, if I want to use this, then this for the state, okay, preserve the current state or use initial state of the life cycle template. When I say preserve current state, let's say the object is in release state. When I say preserve, it will also uh, put this object in release state with the new iteration. If I say use initial state of the life cycle, what is the first state of that life cycle? It will follow that. Or I can manually pick the state. Okay, now I say use initial state of the life cycle. Click OK. Okay, now uh, it's following the latest iteration. So now we are in work. Now, if you see new promotion request. Okay. The object that I want to promote. Okay, you see the available state for promotion. This is coming from our transition because we select obsolete and released. Select object for promotion. And my state is I want to promote it to released. Okay, on the set. The object is still in work. We have a new object called promotion notice. Okay, we'll have a workflow attached to it. I need to assign someone to approve. So someone needs to approve or review this promotion request. So these are all tasks coming from my workflow. Okay, so we'll see about workflow in our next class. So this is not a out of the box workflow. This is customized for my company. It's heavily customized one. Let's see if my system comes back online. Etc. Okay, this is a complex workflow designed for my company for the promotion request. Usually it will be a single workflow since it is a customized system. It's following this custom workflow. So now it's in under review. You see, once I approve the task, the state is automatically getting changed to under review. So most of the time, the state will be changed using the workflow. Now, review promotion request. Since I assign myself as a reviewer, it's giving me an option to review the promotion request. So someone in the company will go here and see the instruction. Okay, so this is object is promoted from this state to this state. This is a promotion object. Okay, it's in version C. Okay, it's promoted from state, and we can also have a promoted to state, which state is going to promote to. And after reviewing it, I will add my comments and say confirm. Okay, let's promote this object. Okay, review promotion request, and someone is to approve this. You see, uh, this task has a little pen icon here, meaning it requires a digital signature. You need to enter, you call it as a digital signature. It's nothing but you have to enter your password again here. It is a different login. I'm approving it using a different user. So once I approve there, even this task will also change. Now it will be in approved state. So when we promote this, we have an option to send our details to SAP. So we don't want to do it. Okay. See here, my promotion request is approved and my path will change from in work to released. So this is the normal process how we follow to promote an object. Okay. In next class, we are going to create a workflow. Hopefully, I'll fix my image by then. And we are going to make this as a advanced lifecycle. So we'll have more option here. We are going to attach a workflow, and the workflow is going to do all the state changes. Okay. So today, try to download the image because you need to have some hands-on. It's not just I do all the work. The important part here is you should also need to have some hands-on how to create lifecycle. Um, all the things we've seen, so we have to try it. Okay, I have to make your hands dirty. So setting up an image is very key because the following class, you should also parallelly do all these things along with me. So the muscle memory will help you to remember things much faster than going through this recording or meeting. Okay. Any questions? So I know it will be little overwhelming for you guys because I navigate little fast, and this is the first time you're seeing all the screens. This is a enterprise business application. It's not a simple thing that we can easily learn, so it will take some time. So that's why you have to keep practicing. Yes, questions.
Yeah, Manoj, bro, I have one question.
Hmm?
So the major difference between the workflow and life cycle is like life cycle is where we define the stages, right? So like one
So
stage to another stage in life cycle.
it's state. Okay.
State.
You can say stages of doesn't so the term is state. Yes, it is. There are two. If you see the definition, workflow is used to track the maturity of an object. Okay, at what state the object is currently in, whether it's in design state or in prototype or manufacturing or released or obsolete, depends on the business requirement. We define all the states, and it will tell you exactly where the part is, where the object is. Okay, now if I go and see this. Promotion request, it's approved. I can see the state of the promotion request. Okay, it's approved. It's not in
Mm,
under review. It's not in open. Okay, now I know the state, the maturity of the it's fully matured. It's approved.
yes.
If I go and see this, it's in release state. Okay, it's not no more in works. Now the part have reached a release state. Okay, so that's what I mean by maturity. At what state of their life they are in.
Okay.
Now
So
the
this is life cycle.
okay, life cycle. Workflow is to automate a business process. Like we see in the promotion request, if I open this workflow, this is an instance of an workflow. Okay. So my business requirement, my business processes, whenever someone tries to promote an object from one state to another state, someone needs to review the promotion request, someone needs to approve it, and also the promoted object needs to send to SAP. I can manually type this program and do it, but here I'm automating the business process. Okay. When I create a promotion request, the first thing it's asked me to do is, okay, find your reviewer and approver. That's the first task we completed. Okay. Then it's going to perform some validation or invoke some API, whether it is right object to promote, and it also going to set the state of the promotion request to under review. So we are not changing the state to automatic. Once we assign the reviewer and approver, my business processes to set the state of the promotion request to under review. Then based on a condition, so all this, the condition is nothing but we have Java API to verify a few things. We'll see it in our workflow class, and it will log the promoted object, so we cannot edit it, and it will give a task for me to review the promotion request. Whoever we selected here, they will get a task to review the promotion request. Once they reviewed it, okay, it's a valid promotion request, then it's going to send it to approve. But they also have a clarify loop, because the reviewer, okay, finds something is not right, they'll say, okay, clarify, these are the questions I have. It's going to unlock it. It's going to send it to a different task called clarify promotion request. And again,
Mm,
it will come back to the same loop. Once he's happy with the promotion request, he will send it to the approver who's going to approve the promotion request. So this is my business process. This is how the flow should be, and workflow help us to automate this.
okay, from one stage to second stage, what
Whatever you need, okay,
mm,
the business requirement is once the promotion request is approved, before I promote my object, I need to send the part to my SAP system. That is also part of my, so it's not just changing state. What should happen behind the scene? You need to send notification to someone about the promotion request approval. We can do it. See, it's sending a notification if there is a validation error.
mm,
Set state. It's also setting some attribute value, set promotion date. It's invoking some APS behind the scene. So that's what automating a business process means. Okay.
okay,
It will take care of everything. Whatever you want to do, it will take care.
okay,
We'll see all these things in our workflow class. That's also part of our business administration.
okay. And the next question is like OIR, right? So we have seen that object initialization rule. So that can be applied across the life cycle workflow and on every
No,
object that can.
OER tells what life cycle your object should be assigned to. And your life cycle said what workflow you need to invoke in a specific state. Because if we say invoke, so we call it as a phase gate. This is my phase, this is my gate. Okay. Um, uh, in a pure textbook definition, this is, let's say I'm doing my design work here. Okay. So using some workflow, I can assign a workflow here in work. So I'll design it. I'll send it to my approver. He's going to review my design. If he's not happy, he's going to send back to me, which I can achieve through a workflow. And once I'm done with my work, the gate will hold the validation criteria to move it to next state. Okay. Even in my gate process, I can assign a workflow. See, the gate process also has option to assign a workflow, but 99% of the companies won't use the gate process. So you don't need to worry about the gate process. So here my lifecycle tells if it is an invoke, what workflow needs to be invoked. If it is released, what workflow needs to be invoked. If it's obsolete, I can configure. But most of the time, they will assign one workflow in invoke, and that workflow will handle all the state change and everything. You don't need to assign. But if you want to split your workflow into 3 parts and assign it to individual state, yes, you can do it. I'll also show an example for that. Um, but there are some use cases where we'll only apply the workflow to the first state. That is very important. So the workflow kicks off when the object is created. So three different things. OER is separate, lifecycle is separate, and workflow is separate. It all works together. That's how we configure a system. So OER is more like what all,
Predefined rules, right?
yeah, predefined. What should happen to my object when it gets created? What's the name? What's the number? Do you want to populate, pre-populate an attribute value? If you change this, do you need to change something? Okay, if I change one of my attribute, do you want to change something else in the system? What is the team needs to be assigned? And whether it's a server generator or user can also, for example, I can give an option for the user to enter the number, or it can be an auto-generated one. So we'll see that in our OER class. There are a lot of things we can do in OER. You cannot cover all those things here, but we'll see in OER class. This is only for lifecycle, what we can do with lifecycle. But OER and workflow will come here.
Okay.
So there are, since we are going in a fast track, so we have an option to customize our version series. What is mean by customizing a version series? So now I revise it. It's go from A.1 to B.1 and C.1 and D.1. Some company will have a revision sequence of AA, AB, AC, which is not available in our system out of the box. How we implement that, which is not, we are not going to cover that because we need to complete this as soon as possible. But anytime if you have a requirement, if you're working on a project, if you have some questions, okay, this is my requirement, how to do it, you can always get back to me, give you a requirement. I'll tell you the best way to do that. There are multiple ways we can do things in Venture. So
Okay.
what's the best way? That's what you're going to know. But these are some basic things, and this help is your companion. Click it. It will give details about everything. How to customize a version sequence. And also I'll give you one common login for the PTC knowledge base. You can type anything there. Okay. I'll quickly show you. Support.ptc. You need a PTC login for this. Okay. Here you have a question. Okay. My question is how to customize version sequence. How to get or update file based, state based. It will give you. So you need to first download it. Then this is how you load it. And what is the command you need to follow? Changing versioning schemas. It will take you to the help center. How to do it. Setting up file-based or state-based versioning sequence. So all these things you can find in this help center.
Okay.
Any other questions? And go download the PDF that I sent you. Okay, go through it. It will be whatever we talked. They will explain in a very detailed manner with all the example. Okay, but go through it in your free time. It will help you. If you don't understand anything, just let me know.
Yeah, sure. And I have one more, like check-in and check-out, right? So if you want to do any modification, so first we need to do checkout and then we need to check in, right? So, so does it give any notification? Like suppose I have checkout, like today to edit something, but I forgot like for 2 to 3 days. So will it give any notification to me, like particular
Nope,
part or?
nope. If you go to your home screen, you will see the checked out work.
Oh,
So
okay.
every designer will come here, see what all the objects he checked out, and he will work based on that.
Oh, our day-to-day task from here, this dashboard.
This is your checked out work, and this is your task. So
Okay.
any task assigned to you will be available here. These are workflow tasks.
Hmm.
Let's say I want to approve a promotion request. I want to review a promotion request. So all these tasks will be available here.
Okay.
Kappa request review. Okay, these are workflow tasks. This is my day-to-day task, and this is my checked out work. Okay, so if I click see this. Okay, if I subscribe to this part, let's say, so any event happens on this part, like checkout, checkout, revise, you'll get a notification that will be available here to the updates. Still, you can add additional things here, whatever you want. Let me go back and change my OER. So set this back to what it was. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay
And
then. Yep. Good, Mahesh.
yeah, actually, I have couple of questions from the
Yeah,
past
yeah.
videos. So, in the, while creating the users, so if suppose I got a request like we need to create a new user, so how will come to know so that particular user, which group does we map? Uh, so we'll get everything in the
So
request.
first, we need to assign him to one of the license group. Okay, depends on the requirement. Okay, whether he's a designer or
Mm.
what role he plays in the company, we will assign him the license role, so he can create part, or he can do a bomb transformation, or can create a promotion request. Okay, but assigning him to a license profile doesn't mean that he will have access to all this part. To get access to this products, every product will have a team. He need to be added to this team so he have access to this product. Again, what role he plays, according to the role here, we will assign it. So usually we don't directly assign people to this role. We will assign it to group. When we create the user, okay, he is from this location, from a manufacturing team. Okay, give this, add him to this group. So which automatically give access to all these products. So we don't need to manually add him.
Okay.
See this group, as these many members who are a part of this group will have access to that product. And when we create the user based on the training he completed or the role he play, we will map him to license profiles and also the custom groups. And automatically he will have access to all the products.
Okay. So these tasks will get through ServiceNow or like
Yep, we get a ServiceNow ticket to add
okay.
new users, or someone joins the company. They will default have a process to create a Winchell account, and based on the training they complete or role they play, they will be added to different accounts. But there is mostly it will come through ServiceNow ticket.
Oh, okay.
My system temperature is spiking.
And in the document sections, we have something called internal names. So you mentioned that we need to start with ext dot something, the name, right? So what does internal name means? Because it's not taking direct names over there.
So internal name is a unique name. Okay. Display name, you can have whatever character you want, or can have duplicate same display name for two different objects, but internal name should be unique. If you see in our current system, we have two different subtypes, but both has the same display name, product change notice.
Hmm.
You can have the same display name, but if you see the internal name, this is ext.tbct.tbct product change notice. And this one, ext.tbct.tbct product change notice new. I cannot have a same internal name for both the types. So how do we differentiate it? That's why we have this internal name everywhere. Whatever you create, everything will have an internal name.
So it has to start with ext only or
Not necessarily. That's a naming convention everyone follows.
in the organization. Okay.
Yes.
Mhm.
We see even for attributes, we'll have an internal name and a display name. So display name is what the user see in the UI. Internal name is for a unique identifier to uh, locate the type.
Okay.
Okay. Okay, more questions?
Last question. So in
Mhm.
the real time, we'll have an admin access too, or that will be
Yes,
given
you
to the
will have a
specific.
you will have admin access, because uh, if you're applying for any role, you'll be an administrator or a developer. You'll be part of the Winchell team. Okay, Winchell support and development team, and anyone part of the Winchell support team will have admin access, unless your server is hosted in PTC cloud, where you will have only organ. You won't be provided with site admin for QA server and production server, but development server you will have with this one. Uh, so our servers are hosted in PTC cloud. You see, I have arg admin. This is one of my development bugs. I have site admin. If I go to my QA, I'll
So
have
that is
only
on hosted on Windows or Linux?
Linux. So I told you, right?
Okay,
All the QA and production servers will be in uh,
Linux.
Linux.
Okay.
This is our QA box. I only have arg admin. I don't have site admin access. Okay.
Okay. And last question. So at the same time, yeah, like two developers are working on the same thing. So how the request will be routed, like preference will be given. like first come, first serve kind of thing?
It's not first come, first served. So it depends on your expertise. Let's say you are very good in UI customization. If something comes up for UI, so you will get it.
Okay.
So most of the companies follow the agile. So you will have a scrum master and a product owner who will create stories, depends on the requirement, and they will assign it to you. Or you can pick. So when I was working for John Deere, it's we go and pick the stories. Here they will assign it.
Okay. No. Yeah, I'm good. Thank you.
Okay. Uh, Folks, any other questions? Okay, then thanks everyone. See you all tomorrow. Bye.
Bye.
Bye,
Thank you.
Manoj.